Let's toss a bumper down our throat before we pass to heaven, and toast the trim-set petticoat we leave behind in Devon.
A letter from the front. With the first contingent, letter from Private Gamble. A letter has been received by his parents from Private William Gamble, son of Edward of Barfold, from which we make the following extracts. Enslin Camp, December the 13th, 1899. You will have seen by the newspapers where we are. We have to do a lot of patrol work, that is, watching for the enemy to see which way they go and what they do. There is a terrible lot of night work. Sometimes we don't get 3 or 4 hours sleep for 3 or 4 nights running, and exposed to all sorts of weather. We had to make a very fast march from Orange River to Belmont. The Boers blew up the line and tackled the camp at Enslin. They sent a wire to us. Our horses were nearly done up when we arrived at 5 o'clock, and then we had to go straight out of the koppies to keep watch all night. I and Burrows were perched on top of a very high koppie about 2 miles out. The whole night long, not a wink of sleep there. It was terribly lonely. In the morning we were relieved and had a few hours' spell. Yelda, his horse, was just like a skeleton, but she is very hardy and looking well again. Her back is a little sore. This is the general complaint. We have left half the things behind, and we had on saddle and nearly all our clothes, only carrying a pair of extra socks, shirt, cloth trousers, horse brush and blanket. Left capes or overcoats, a good thing for the horses, that were overloaded. We're in sight of this great battle at Speyfontein. We can hear the cannons roar and see the balloon flying in the air. The war correspondents say the fighting is terrible. That is all we know. The officers have given the VMC great credit for their work. The infantry are very jealous of us getting all the knocking about. They have to remain in the camp digging trenches and raising fortifications. We have not been fired on yet, nor fired a shot, but of course this won't last. We see the enemy, often in small lots and a long way off. They are trying to blow up the line again, and we have to watch it very carefully. It is a peculiar sensation, not knowing the minute we may be fired on. Friday, our patrolling again last night from 7:30 to 1 o'clock. The battle ceased yesterday to bury the dead. Firing commenced early this morning. The Gordon Highlanders returned this morning from the firing line. They advanced right to the foot of the hill and got through the barbed wire, but could not see anyone there, so had to retire. It is all artillery fire now, no infantry. The country around here, fairly good, plenty of grass. All the farms have been abandoned, sheep and cattle wandering around everywhere. There are hundreds of deer, but we can't shoot, as it would alarm our camp. We go out riding 10 and 12 miles sometimes and see all sorts of country. It is full of wombat and mole holes, very dangerous for riding. I got 2 or 3 busters, always someone falling but no one hurt yet. There are herds of goats just the same as we have sheep in Victoria. The cattle nearly all black. The days are very hot, just like home in summer, but nights are quite chilly. Water is scarce, just dams in gullies, no wells up here at all. We get drinking water by train. Our food is fairly good, tinned meat and sour bread and dry biscuits. We got some fowls running about and bought them in. They were a luxury. I don't know how long we may be here, perhaps a month or only a day, just depends on headquarters. There are about 12,000 here, so we are not afraid of the Boers, as the place is well fortified. There is very little sickness. Dysentery from drinking water the main complaint. All the horses have a cough, but the vet says it is not serious. We sleep 10 in a tent. They are all good fellows, do anything for one another. 2 fellows from Shepparton, Campbell and Newby. The others are Seymour, Veering, Fletcher and Bedstrop. And us 4 mates, who are all well. I've just been cooking some onions and potatoes we got in a deserted garden. They will be a welcome change. The houses belonging to British farmers are terribly ransacked by the Boers. I can say the Boers are very much the stamp of Australians, not quite so smart. Something like fellows from the back blocks, countrified with beards, some of them very cruel to British settlers. We've captured a few prisoners. farmers, Dutch, who say they don't fight, but prowl around at night and shoot anyone, then go back home in the morning. We have about 12 scouts with us, fellows who have lived here all their lives and can speak all the languages of Africa. They are smart fellows called Remington Tigers. They wear a band of tiger skin around their hat. The Boers give us £50 per head to anyone who will capture them. One of them is a Victorian. He was working for Hunter Burnawang. There are some splendid flowers, only we haven't time to examine them, principally a set of convolvulus and heath. Lizards, large beetles, big locusts and tortoises in any quantity. Have only seen very small snakes. No cultivation, just small plots and gardens. The houses are plastered and skillioned, flat-topped. No trees whatever. A small scrub on the koppies. Here we are in Maryborough today. It's Wednesday. Quite cool, I suppose, but sun's out. It's not going to be a stinker like when we went to Minyip, that's for sure. Maryborough's a lot of happy memories for me. Brian and I had our honeymoon in Maryborough. I had the golf bug then. I remember wanting to play golf after dinner. Anyway, there's a couple of monuments up here. The first one's pretty impressive. I think it's a World War II monument. Impressive soldier. Maryborough is another one of these old gold towns. Glorious in its day. A bit run down these days. Half the shops are closed in the main street. They don't have a lot of water. Oh. Yeah, who's this? Oh, the Great Wall. Sure is a good one. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for Boer's War. Because we're Boer War buffs. They put it right outside the town hall. It looks of an old vintage, the old style. Here we go. Erected in memory of Gerald Massey Ivor Wilkinson, Corporal Talibines, Scottish horse killed in action at Elands Clwyd, 3rd of July 1901. The King in Empire. You might notice it says King now. The other ones it's Queen in Empire because Victoria died before the end of the Boer War. That's pretty impressive. Quite magnificent, really. I like it a lot. Sea Door, Melbourne. Would have been the stonemason. And if the taps still work. Whoa. Oh, they've yeah. Actually, they've tried to turn them off and stop them being used. As I said, they have water troubles here, and down the bottom looks like maybe that would have been for pets or horses. I'll have to find out who the Scottish horse were. Talibadine's Scottish horse. Alright, well that's a good one. Tick off Maryborough for Boer War monuments.